My apologies, the dog. Here's somebody outside. Trust me, I didn't tell the dog to do that. I'm going to go through a new box here. This Sea Soul Journeys Oracle cards. It has 48 cards in it by Pippa Best. It says connect with the healing power of the ocean. And the UK price on this is just under £19, and the US price is just under 23 American dollars. Okay. And I doubt I paid full retail for this. I'm kind of a sale girl myself. You know what I mean? So if I see a good sale, I'm like, put it in the cart. Put it in the cart. All right, you know. Okay. So the back side of this says, does the sea call you? Are you soothed by the water's ebb and flow and inspired by its beauty and power? Alrighty, so yes, and then let the sea be your guide. Okay, so we'll see what. Yeah, the Sea Soul Journeys Oracle cards are a gift from the sea to your soul, a breath of fresh ocean air, a moment of peace connecting you to the magic of the ocean. So for those of us that are landlocked, right, but we like the water. Hey, what are you doing? No, it's not for dogs. This is not for dogs. Knock it off. Anyway, unpredictable moments. Okay. So here's the cards. Okay, so these are very you can see here the size. Kind of tarot size. You know, some of those oracle cards are kind of big or awkward to handle, so I kind of like that. Okay, it has a nice little guidebook in here. It looks like it has a photo of every card, some imagery. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a nice little book. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It does give some guidance on how to use your cards. Okay. You know, sometimes cards like these, you could think of it as like, if you don't want to do it every day, you know, pull one on Monday. You know what I mean? Like as an inspirational calendar type thing, you know, and then think about that for like the week. Okay. There's different ways to do this, right? It's not everybody out there is a tarot reader nor wants to be one. Okay. So here is what the cards actually look like. The back side, you can see they're very nicely give that ocean feel. Okay. The first one, pause. May moments of calm sustain you. Moment of Zen, right? Present. You may sense each shiver of the surf. Interesting. I imagine when it says present, it's talking about being present. Yeah. There's also the word present, and I believe it's spelled the same way. So, yeah. However it resonates with you, right? Allow. May you soften into what is. Yeah, I mean, when you walk on the sand, especially in the water, you know, yeah, it can get hard, but it's your feet sink in, right? Allow. Okay. Get out of there. Get out of there. Compassion. May you tend to the suffering. Okay. So having compassion not only for yourself, but for others. All right. I don't know if I'm going to get through this. This dog, he is riled up today. Reveal, may openness lead you to connection. Enough, may you be exactly as you are. You ever see that movie, Bridget Jones' Diary? I was just thinking about it the other day. Um, and they were talking about like exactly as she is. I mean, what's that Beyonce song? Flaws and all. Nobody's without them, right? But that doesn't mean you're not enough for the right person. Okay? Because for some people, you'll never be enough, and you can't do anything about that. Held, may you feel the ocean's caress. Sorry, I have somebody here that wants to interrupt my reading right now. Hey, can't you? Really? Don't even think about eating these cards. Don't even think about it. Soothed, may you settle gently, even as the wave breaks above. No, it's not playtime. I don't even know what this person's asking in the chat. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're even saying. Resilient, may your soul weather the storms. Okay. So if somebody else can help them out in the chat with that, I don't understand what they're even talking about. Reflect, may you discern and distill. Discernment, we use that. That's a word that I learned later in life, and it really helped me understand boundaries. Okay. Belonging, may you welcome yourself home. Sorry, my little assistant here is shaking the camera. Expansive, may you connect to the whole, right? We're never really separated from the universe, right? Even though sometimes we feel like we're very alone in things, but and maybe it's because it is so expansive, right? It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna get lost in the shuffle, right? Okay. All right. Balance. May you find equilibrium in motion. Courageous. May each breaking wave build your courage. Isn't that what the cowardly lion needed? A little bit of courage, Somebody to say, you got that fighting spirit, you can do it, right? Because even though he was scared, right, he forgot how like big and burly looking he was, and like he could like really like, right? Which I don't know, is it about when do they start showing Wizard of Oz? Like I think that's next month, usually when they show it on TV. Heard, may your brave call be carried on the wind. Release, may you lay down your burdens, right? Who wouldn't love to do that, right? Yeah, let's work on that. New Year's resolution, release the burdens, right? Okay. If you don't know what your New Year's resolution is going to be yet, just use that one. Lightness, may the light lift you to the surface, right? Release the burdens, allow more lightness in your life, right? Not everything has to be a heavy conversation. Not everything has to be, right? We can be light and easy and free and, you know what I mean? You know, taking the anxiety from here to here to, you know what I mean, to a manageable level. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Realizing that not all of those burdens belong to you. Faith. May trust steady your fears, right? So that's when they say trust in God, have faith, trust the universe, right? Your faith, you know, when people be like, how did you make? Well, my faith pulled me through. Okay. Sometimes that's really all we have to rely on. Okay. Clear, may you see things as they are. Mm-hmm. Clear vision, right? Oh my gosh, I've been seeing these like cosmetic eye surgeries going on. What's going on with this stuff? Like I had corrective like LASIK done several years ago. Because I was born with what do they call it? Myopia, whatever. Uh Nearsightedness. Okay, so I wore glasses since I was like in the fourth grade. I finally got them corrected before I got too old to not do it. But nowadays people are doing these crazy surgeries just like when they could just go get colored contacts. It's like, what are you doing? So, you know, have a clear mind about things, you know, think about the implications, you know. So many people just want to rush to get surgery. Somebody bit my head off in a Facebook group the other day because I told somebody to try exercising. Someone's like, oh, I'm sorry you got that answer. Well, it's a it's a working solution for a lot of people to their specific problem. You know what I mean? You know, and I just said that, you know, to try and get the conversation going, not to try and insult the person because it's, you know, a random Facebook group. I don't know everybody. Do they know me? No. You know what I mean? Aren't we just supposed to be here trying to help each other on the internet? Anyway, um, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on YouTube, there's so many different exercise videos, exercise routines, especially if you want to get back into lifting. There's lots of, you know, home workout videos, home yoga stuff that if you can't afford a gym membership, if you don't want to go travel to the gym, if it takes too much time out of your day, right? You know, I've been to the gym, you know, I've had my gym membership, uh, before. But I also see the advantage of working out at home too, you know, because really some things you can fit in like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Well, there's your minimum 20 minutes a day, right? Anyway, bliss, may you feel deeply and transcend, right? So you allowed to feel the emotions and feel the feelings, but don't get stuck in the muck, right? Allow yourself a little bliss time, okay? You know, maybe that was me earlier watching, you know, old Britney Spears video that she posted to her Snapchat, the crazy video that had Sarah Michelle Gellar, you know what I mean? Which she was very hot at that time. So that was like a great throwback memory, you know, seeing her in the video and they're like kind of like at this club and they're dancing. You know, it's like, oh, cute guys, you make me so crazy. Ha ha. Right. Um, you know, right? Having fun. Some people get so hung up on, you know, how they got crazy back in 1954 one day, right? And it's like, okay, thanks for the pep talk. We'll try not to run it off the rails like you did. Okay? But that doesn't mean nobody can ever have a beer. Do you know what I mean? Like, grow up. Grow up. I'm just saying. Anyway, forgive. May you let it be. Okay, sorry. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be, right? So, a lot of people say, I will forgive, but I won't forget, right? So, and forgiveness is mostly for you, not really for the other person so much. It's just about more you not hanging on to um, guilt around the situation, especially if you were not privy to information that would have been very beneficial for you, right? To make better decisions. Okay. Now you know, right? Well, I don't have a time machine. Do you? Forgive yourself. Forgive the past. Okay. Okay. I mean, if these AA people can do it, so can you. All right. Just saying. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to judge, but I'm just saying. Okay. Because some folks like to get preachy about out there about their stuff. Okay. But hey, they're willing to forgive themselves, right? And they're sticking it out another day. Well, so can you. Okay. However you need to get inspiration. And I'm not saying go and do that in order to, um, you know, have some kind of pissing contest. No. Just understand that, there's large groups of people out there that have found a way to move forward. And just because you're not in that group doesn't mean you don't get to move forward too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. The same with, if maybe you don't belong to the same religious sect as, your partner or their family or blah, 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 blah. I mean, that means you're without salvation. I don't think so. Okay. Okay. Anyway, it reminds me that May the Fourth be with you was a Jeopardy answer. Oh my goodness. You know how those kids are in church, they'll be like, may the force be with you, instead of peace be with you. Anyway, fluid, may you shift and transform. So again, this is a ocean deck, right? You might have water in your chart as well for those into the astrology portion of things of that nature. There's the famous Bruce Lee quotes, be like water, right? Okay. Space. May your heart and your scope expand. Okay. So, yeah, are you giving yourself the space needed? Right? Are you giving yourself the space needed to express what you need to express? Maybe you're expressing it here in the chat room today, right? That is a space, right? Um, especially some folks, we have these online spaces um, because other things have not worked necessarily. And maybe sometimes you need space from that as well. And that's okay. hmm Wild, may you express all that you are. hmm So, yeah, as the water hits up on the rocks, and you know what I mean? It's just like, it's unpredictable, it's wild and crazy, right? Again, that Britney video. Crazy, but it feels alright, right? Something, something, something keeps me up all night. I don't have any of her albums or anything, but who has, those, you know, they're just fun songs. Imagine, may you look beyond what can be seen, okay? So I was talking a lot about imagination the other day, using your third eye to visualize, right? Okay. So when you imagine something, what does it look like to you? Um, maybe imagine what it sounds like. Imagine what it feels like. If you can imagine the feeling of the water, have you ever just placed your hand on top of water and just kind of pat the water and feel it? hmm Begin. May you start as if you have already begun. This is a nice little beach walk. The last time I was near the ocean, I went down and did a reading, and it was literally, it was almost like a walkway like this. I did a live down there. It's on, you guys can see it on my maybe I'll repost it. Um Believe, may the sea deepen your faith. Okay. So yes, there's other things out there, right? They say a lot of the ocean's still unexplored, right? They're always finding new sea creatures and exciting things. Okay. You ever see the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? They created a whole world underwater. I won't give away the ending if you've not seen it. The Disney movie I like the best, based on Jules Verne, Verne with an E. You know what I mean? Verne. Um, Decide. May you navigate with purpose. Yes. So yeah, yeah, okay. This is coming to my mind right now. There's folks that are like, "Oh, I don't want to go on that path. I want to go on the more beaten path." Right? But then you're like, "Okay, well, are you planning the beaten path?" Like, there's a state park not far from me where every year there's like some accident and somebody gets injured because they decide to go off of the path. Sometimes veering off makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's like, why wouldn't you, and out here it looks like there's a nice little lighthouse. I mean, why wouldn't you just, you know? Instead, somebody's like, "Oh, I'm going to jump in and swim there." Well, if they're reincarnated as a fish, maybe they can. I'm one of those landlubbers. Journey, may you seek adventure. Okay. So these are like stairs going into the water. I would think those are interesting. Um, Kind of maybe get your brain going about what those stairs may have been used for, right? May you seek adventure. Yes. This might be little swimming stairs. I'm not sure. Curious, may you open and explore. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Looks like it's one of those cenotes or something. Somebody asked, says I'm fixed water. Does that mean, yeah. What is the fixed water sign? We have Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. I can't remember which one's a cardinal, which one's fixed, and which one's mutable. If you're talking about signage there. Scorpio, they say. Yeah, that kind of makes sense that Scorpio would be the fixed sign. Okay. Which we are in Scorpio season, by the way. So congratulations, you made it. Happy birthday, Scorpios. Okay. Hope, may the horizon always sustain you. Look at that, right? The sun sets, the moon rises, and then what happens? The sun rises again. Let me tell you, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to go down in the morning and have that quiet time on the beach and the sun's coming up and you have that peacefulness and you're like, yep, I'm going to soak this all in, right? Mentally bottle it up and I'm taking this home with me, right? And, that can be your special place, right? And you can do that with any place, right? That's just one example. Stretch. May you extend your reach. That's supposed to be some kind of creature walking back into the ocean. I'm not sure. So yeah, you know how so as the waves roll in and then it's like it'll come a little bit more and then a little bit more and then a little bit more, right? Persist. May your ripples build the swell. You know what I find interesting about the sign of Scorpio because it is a water sign, but it's represented by the scorpion, which scurries across land. So I would say, as far as water signs go, Scorpio is more the earth based, right? Where Cancerian is more about the emotions. Yes. Pisces is more the dreamy. Okay. Scorpio is more the practical. Okay. And I'm trying to say that in a good way. Okay. Because I don't, some people get a little butthurt about their signs, which, we have every single sign in our chart. And if you look at different systems, your chart will look different. Okay. You know what I mean? So persisting through, yeah. Oh, well, you were born under this sign, so you must be this way. Well, you know, not every Leo wants to be the center of attention 24/7. Maybe for their job, they can do that, but maybe in their private life, they're like, I'm just a little bit more relaxed, right? Same with Scorpio. People think like, oh, Scorpio, they're gonna be stinging here and they're gonna be stinging there, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't think you understand Scorpio. It's like a Scorpio will sit back just like a scorpion, right? And as people extend and extend and extend their reach, and then if they reach a little too far, what's gonna happen? Gonna get hit by that stinger. It's a natural fact. What'd you expect? That kind of reminds me, is especially when I was in my teenage years, anytime I would stand up for myself, like, you're mean or you're not nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? I always get that, especially from guys, you know what I mean? Anyway. And you know what? So after a while, it's like, you know what? I didn't like somebody calling me mean or you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I started taking that personally. So, I thought, okay, I'll try and buddy buddy people, right? Well, let me tell you something. That doesn't necessarily get you far either, because not everybody's trying to be your friend, right? So, putting that little stinger on them and saying, well, you mess with the Scorpio, what'd you expect? Right? And then they're gonna be like, well, you're being mean. No, I'm just drawing a boundary, right? That says this is my side. Okay. And you have all this room over here. So go on and do your thing, son, madam, whoever you are, right? Don't let standing up for yourself become somebody else's excuse to use it as a character flaw against you. That's messed up. You know, these days they say that's methed up, right? It's kind of like, yeah, are they on drugs or something? Because normal people don't want to go around doing that to other people. It's shady. It's just shady, and it's like, think about what kind of sad life that person might have. It's like, ooh. Anyway, powerful. May you be as potent as the ocean. Someone in the chat says they usually don't waste venom. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, like the lion, like the scorpion. Usually when people see that, they say, oh, I'm going to back off. Right. But it's like, well, you push it, what's going to happen? Right. It's like those people that climb into the cages at the zoo. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? happen. For most of us, it's not rocket science, but they just, oh man, they're something else, right? They're the exception. It's like you're not the zookeeper. You don't work here. You might belong in a zoo of some kind, but you still don't work here. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Love. May you dive deep into your passions. Okay. And it all starts with love, right? What do you love to do? Maybe you love to play video games. Maybe you love to do content creation. Maybe you love to be around animals. Okay. There's three different kind of routes, right? Um, so getting into those passions, right? You're gonna be able to love yourself more, right? Um, by exploring what you have to offer. Okay. Shine. May you be a lighthouse. How wonderful. I love lighthouses. Talk about a symbol of hope. Okay, it looks like we're on the last set here of cards for this deck. Receive. May you know you are worthy of the gift. Okay. Um, all of us are given gifts in life. It's what we choose to do with them. Okay. So when you're ready to receive the greatness that you possess, right? Okay. That's when, the little alarm bells are going to start go off and be like, hey, this is kind of cool, right? Instead of listening to everyone else say that you're not worthy of this and not worthy of that, well, screw those folks, right? Maybe they're just jealous that they're not receiving what you're receiving. I don't know why I just got this Whitney, and it's the how will I know if he's thinking of me? How will I know? Yeah. So that might be for somebody. Accept. May you receive what is as it comes. Okay, so not rushing it, right? Um, I think for a lot of folks also that have kind of like ADD, ADHD brain, right? It's like it's so out there. How am I ever going to get from here to there? Right? Well, one step at a time. Receiving it as it comes, right? We have to have patience in this life. I know it's difficult. I do understand. Patience is something that I've worked on over my years. Gratitude. There's one way to exercise patience by saying what you are thankful for. Yeah, somebody in the chat kind of saying that, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain, right? You can just say, no, it's not for me, or no, I don't have time to do that. No, no, thank you. And just move on, right? And they're going to have to go figure it out, right? So, and maybe you can express gratitude that you don't have to cater to somebody else right now, right? Um, you're like, oh my God, I get to do my nails. Yay. You know what I mean? I never understood that all those nurses at the hospital have time to get their nails done. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, may you honor all that you receive. I know. I know. And I have nothing against the nail techs, but I have natural nails, so I have gotten, stuff for like special occasion or whatever. But I work with my hands a lot also, so Getting fake nails is not always on my agenda. But there's you can get like a natural manicure too, and they'll massage your hands and you know what I mean? And just, like buff and trim, polish, and do all that kind of stuff. Alive. May you delight in vitality. Okay. So, maybe for you, it's like, oh man, I'm just going to do something wild that I don't. Maybe you never go get your nails done or you never go get a pedicure and have a spa day. Maybe that's what you need to do to get, liven it up a little, switch it up a little bit. Okay. Now that you said no to spending time doing something you didn't really want to do in the first place, right? Now you can go live your own path, you know? Joy, may you pursue what lights you up. Yes. So do what you love, do what brings you joy. Okay. For some people, helping others brings joy. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media lately about food pantries and things like that. I know, that can be a stressful thing, but in the same way, it can be a joyful thing to be able to give. Maybe as you're going, upon the end of your fall season, if you're cleaning out your pantry, maybe this is a good time to donate stuff that maybe has been sitting there and you're like, oh, am I using this? Well, maybe somebody else could, right? um but I'm not saying, you have to clear out your cabinet. Okay, because it's a team effort, and that's part of why I think what the ocean and the water shows us, how vast, how expansive, how yes, we are strong individuals, but together collectively what we can achieve here and bring joy. Okay. Play, may you seek out fun and connection. Lovely. With the dolphins here. Yeah, dolphins often travel in, pods, right? Okay. Um, and they're social animals. Okay. Whereas like sharks are solitary animals more. Dolphins are more social. Okay. Beauty, may you perceive nature's artistry afresh. Hmm. Mm-hmm. So appreciating the beauty that we have. Yeah. Maybe looking at it with a new fresh perspective. Maybe for some of you that's going out and looking at the fall leaves, right? It's a very short window of time to do that, right? Maybe you're like, oh, well, it is kind of nice living around here this time of year, right? Okay. Free, may your soul sing freely. I'm reminded of Ace Frehley, who recently passed on. Okay. Sure, he is playing freely. Did Ace sing as well in Kiss? I don't know. I don't know Kiss's entire history like some other folks do. Um, anyway. Depth, may you immerse and go deeper. Right? What are the depths of the ocean? Someone is miles below sea level. Okay. That's why I don't really understand the whole flat earth crowd. Like what? Anyway, ease may be effortless. I mean the internet. Well, YouTube's right. Rife with things of that nature. Ease, may it be effortless. I was talking about this earlier with that lightness. Okay. Doing things with ease, not making it complicated if it doesn't have to be so, right? Sometimes we think, oh, well, I'm going to do it myself because, well, okay, you can, but it might be a little more difficult. Doesn't have to be. Maybe it's something you could just hire somebody to do. I mean, how do you think these corporations get anything done? Somebody in the chat saying they would love to save animals. And yeah. Magic. May you flow with the divine. We just had a new moon. It is now approaching out again. It's kind of a crescent right now. Okay. So, the cycles of the moon also, I think, remind us of kind of the majesty of being on Earth, right? Because, like, the sun disappears, but the moon's still watching us. Okay. May you see the sublime in the everyday. Okay. So again, like I was talking about, the changing fall leaves, right? You know, going and getting that breath of fresh air. Okay. Looking around and say, yes, yes, this world is bigger than me. Yeah. Somebody I was acquainted with, their partner wasn't too impressed by the Grand Canyon. They said it was just a hole in the ground. I was like, well, that's an interesting perception. Other people might be in awe of something so big and amazing that how did that really get created, right? Some people don't want to think about that. And you don't have to think about it necessarily, but you can accept that it is amazing and something to be awestruck by. All right, folks, that is the entire deck. So somebody's glad I'm done with this reading. Did you hear that sigh? I think this is a pretty nice deck here. So if you're interested in this, go check out your local retailer or online shop and check it out, right? All right, until next time, everybody, please do manifest wisely. Bye-bye.